All right, and we are finally live. I am so honored and happy to have two of my really good friends here who are very much into personal development, healing, and just overall, as I said, becoming a better individual, a better woman. I'll let them, let you all know where you can find them at. Follow these ladies. One thing about it is, guys, it takes a village, it takes a community. So you might be getting something from one other person that the next can't offer. So this is why, it's really good to follow other social media influencers, so that way you can be very well rounded. So first, I'll introduce you all to Pick Meek, and she is, excuse me, she is Miss Accountability, your favorite single mom. And basically what she does is actually very inspiring. What I love about Pick Meek is that she's a storyteller. She doesn't call herself a storyteller, but she is. And I feel like we live in a world of such everything is just so fake. You rarely have people who can be honest and vulnerable, whether they see it like that or not, to speak their truth and tell their truth in such an enjoyable way. So that's always something I really liked about her. So check out our channel, especially if you are a mother. Obviously, you see the topic today. We are talking about, whether you are a mother or not, you are a woman. We all possess that mother archetype within us. And then we also have the Black Lamb. As close to perfection as you can get on this earth, baby.
Stop it. Stop.
Baby, she done the work. That's one thing about it. I definitely love her. No, but seriously, Lamb overall is she's into health and fitness and wellness, specializing in nutrition and, like we said, personal development. If I didn't already say that, you can follow her at the Black Lamb because, as she teaches on her channel, so many people are worried about the aesthetic of looking good. But the only way that you can look good is if you are mentally sound. And so she gives you very practical advice on getting to this space. So anyway, ladies, is there any other social media platforms that you would like them to follow you on?
No, mine just YouTube, the Black Lamb.
Okay.
Yeah,
What about
follow
you?
me on the Instagram and the YouTube, both of which is pick_meek.
Pig_me. Hey Queen, hey, thanks for stopping in, guys. If you are here, make sure you share the live. This is going to be a super important conversation that I feel like doesn't happen as often as it should. I think there's a bit of a stigma attached to speaking about your mama or speaking about your mother or like your childhood experiences. Because I think one part of it, especially in the African American community, is it can almost come off as disrespect, right? Because these are individuals who have, raised you and, sacrificed for you and all of that. But I think in this new day and age that we live in, we are saying, yes, we honor and are appreciative of our mothers and the sacrifices that they have made and just giving us life in general. So this is not a mama bashing session, to say the least. But we are also in a space now to where me and my colleagues are very much into healing. So we're just going to be discussing a bit about that. So Meek, how you feeling about the topic as far as motherhood, and like what do you feel like your biggest struggle is from how you were mothered or parent, how you dealt with your mother versus how you mother your child?
Mm. Hmm. It's
Or
hard
is
to
it the same?
say.
Don't lie now. Keep it a buck. Or is it
It's
the
hard to
same?
say. Um, Mine is more so like a lesson because where my mother lacked, I ended up repeating in her footsteps, and then I had to learn on my own how to step apart from the cycle. So, I'm fourth generation teenage mom. So
No, I did not know that.
my mom had children. My mom had her first kid at 16. I had my first kid at 18. So, and then me and her fall exactly the same in the birth order. Her mother had her children in the same order as my mom. So me and my mom are the same people in the birth order. And it
No,
just was
explain
like
it. Hold on, wait. Explain it. What does that mean?
okay, so my mom is my mom's third kid, and I'm my mom's third kid.
Okay, understood. Okay.
So my mom, she's like, you're the most like me out of all of my children. So her expectation for me was to be better than her. So when I repeated the cycle, it was like, golly, somehow the ball was still dropped. So every emotion that she felt from her mother, unwanted, unloved, was passed down to me. So I essentially broke the cycle because my baby do not know what being unloved is. Like he knows that he's blessed, he's surrounded with love, he's spoiled with love. So, it's all that's what I want to talk about today. Like I want to talk about just because we have those experiences, it does not mean that we have to stick with what we know.
Then what you feel about that?
About Meek's part or about the question that you originally asked? I'm sorry.
Either or, the original question or
Yeah, I think that if you fail to be introspective and work on yourself, you're destined to repeat whatever it is that you grew up in. And so one of the things that I said was, first of all, I'll just say this. I love my mom. Both of my parents did the best job they possibly could. And I'll never take that from them at all. But me doing the work that I did on myself, I came to realize that I needed to do some work because the things that I said I didn't want to be, I'm like, oh, I don't want to be like my mom in this certain area. I actually was like, oh, you're your mama. Like you need to change it because the exact thing that I said I didn't want to do, I was doing, and it wasn't until I went to therapy and I worked on myself. I was actually open to being like, okay, I clearly can't fix this myself. I don't know how to get myself out of this. Me going to therapy actually helped me break whatever negative influence my mom had on me, right? And there's always positive and negative. Like there's a lot of good, but there's also things based on the way that I was raised that I had to work on. And so, if we're not open to bettering ourselves honestly, like assessing ourselves accurately, and then working on that, and then you're gonna repeat the same cycle. So yeah.
And I think another piece of it is this is what we were conditioned to. This is our program. Like this is what we were taught. If your mother taught you to do your hair a certain way, that's how you do your hair. If your mother never taught you how to do your hair, you might not know how to do it. Like it is so many little pieces that go into parenting, just the way that you speak to your child. And I think that's what's so important. It's a big piece. And I know that sometimes like the science freaks can come in with like epigenetics and certain things that just deal with our biology. And sometimes we just will be, pretty much who we are. But I don't think anybody can argue that trauma is real and it does exist. And if you're not careful, and we know damn well psychological programming exists. I mean, just look at how simply trends and fads can change. Bell bottoms in, bell bottoms out, tattoo in, tattoo. So we are creatures that can be easily programmed, whether we like to admit that or not. It's true. So, and to deny a programming from a mother and a father is just asinine at this point. Now, if you are a wise person or an old soul or like a chosen one, quote unquote, you might be the black sheep, right? And you might be the one that kind of call out like, hell, motherfucker, no, this ain't right. That ain't fair. That ain't fair, and that ain't right, and this is crazy. But you're going to get a lot of backlash because of that. Because, like Luke was saying, it's easier to repeat that psychological cycle. So that's a very interesting topic. Meek, I saw you writing. What were you over there jotting down?
Oh, just my speech when I tell my story because I don't want it to seem like I just hate my mama.
No, and let's be clear. Let's be clear. This is coming from a space of 3 women who love their mother, and respectfully, Lamb mother has passed away. You know what I mean? So you cannot think that for a second 3 women would be up here to do that. No, we're up here to be an example of how we can thank you, baby. I do appreciate that. All right, close that door, please. To be that example of how we can heal through change. And a big part, a big thing I learned through Meek was through storytelling, because I think so often we just, hold it in, don't disrespect your mother. But what about the silent cry of mama that never was heard? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think sometimes when we also silence ourselves to not say certain things, we do our parents a discredit. And I think once I started talking to my mother from that space of asking questions, not assuming, but asking questions, it really helped me understand where her mind was and just how generational changes happen. One last piece before I want to break into that. Something that you said stood out to me, Lamb. You said, I don't know how to get out of this myself. And I get chills just saying that, because it's like we won't admit that as people. It's embarrassing to almost say, like, I don't know how to get out of this depression. I don't know how to get out of this psychological recycling I keep doing. Because that's another piece of it too. Like, I get what you saying. It might be coming from a space of just personal healing, personal development, healing myself, trauma, whatever. But I think also as mothers and as women, whether you have children or not, you have to really let that sink in. What cycles are you in? What people are you dating? What mental programs do you have that you keep cycling through, and you're too embarrassed to get the help, or you won't make the time? You'll make time to go over his house and give him some of that Uchi woo, Uchi wally wally, Uchi bang bang. You can make time for that, but you can't make time for 30-minute, therapy session.
Mhm.
Like, that's some fucking bars. But anyway, let me not curse. I'm trying to censor myself. So, Meek, go ahead. So, what would you say? I think it's definitely powerful to tell our stories, and just give a little insight. And if you don't mind, after you tell your story, what was the mirroring moment for you after that? Like, what was the reflection moment after the situation
What
with your
story
mom?
am I telling? There's so many.
Well, anyone that comes to mind, like, give us an example of, well, how about this? Just a general feeling of what you felt your experience was with your mother. And if
Okay.
you want to throw a story in there, cool. And feel free, y'all, in the comments to drop down below if you have any questions or anything you feel like you're struggling with, or questions that you have about parenting, because it doesn't come with a instruction manual. Feel free to drop it down below, so that we can definitely touch on it or answer that question. So, but yeah, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna say I'm gonna share a real sad story.
Oh
Okay.
my God. Okay.
Sad story. And before I get into it, I'm gonna start off by saying that what year was that? Oh three. Yeah, I love my mama. We're gonna call her B Dub in this moment. B Dub or my mama. Um, my mom was a great lady, strong AF, very determined, as independent as can be, loving. She was self sufficient, very respectful. She was giving, very beautiful. And she was a class act because my mama knew how to carry herself. Um, she has a cultivating personality. So my mom draws in energy. So growing up, I used to want to be just like my mom, especially because she was so fly. Like she had that like Maxine living single look down packed. Like my mom was
She was
fly.
my favorite.
Exactly. Like my mom took business casual to a whole new level. It's like I cannot wait to get older to be like mommy because mommy fly. So I loved my mom so much, and it used to hurt my feelings because I used to feel like my mother didn't care about me. So it was four of us total. My oldest brother didn't live with us. He moved out when I was an infant. And my mom blamed me for that. So, like that story, she's like, my kid couldn't even live here because of you. So she used to blame me for a lot of stuff. I used to be like, dang, like my mom had this fantastic life, and then I was born, and then her life got terrible. So to me, I felt like I was like the destruction of everything. It was like, ain't no way I'm a positive being, because the way my mother would talk to me, she would make me feel like she just had this fairy tale lifestyle. And then I came along and I just was this dark cloud. So I've had depression since I was 8. I had my first self-deletion attempt when I was 10. So it just was like this whole feeling of, you know, not feeling wanted. And then it was like, my parents were together, but what I say is we were a casualty of their war. So they liked each other, but we just was little people that came along. We wasn't really little people that they wanted or desired. So they ignored us a lot of the time. So the saddest story ever. The saddest story. I'm over it, because it was like, 21 years ago? Like 21 years ago. So August 14, 2003. It was like a serious moment here, because it was like one of the first times Cleveland had a blackout. And I say the blackout happened because of me. So me and my sister was riding our bikes to this the little local, what's that, recreational center. My sister left me because she's a super douchebag. But that's how my mama raised us, to be in competition. So my sister left me, and in the process of her leaving me, this man ran me over and he was trying to kidnap me. So yeah, this story sucks. So while he was literally putting me in the back of his car, 2 black Muslim men like stopped and was like, "Do you know him?" And I was like, "No, I don't know him." So then they stopped him from leaving. They saved my life. They called 911. They called my mama. Y'all, why when my mama got to the scene of the crime, she's sitting up there taking care of the man who ran me down, ignoring me. Like, hello, mom. My leg is broken. Couldn't get up. I'm like, "Hey, mom, I got hit by a car." And my mom like, "Is everything okay with you, sir? Are you okay?" So while my dad's like, "No, we're going to call the police." I kid you not, this man, he starts shaking, y'all. He's like, "Oh my God, I'm going in a diabetic coma." So my mom, as caring as she is, she trying to save this man's life. She tossing candy in his mouth, because at the time she worked with like older people. And she's like, "We got to give him something sweet." And I'm like, "Girl, this man is faking because he don't want to go to jail for trying to kidnap me." The ambulance get there.
Hold on, wait. Hold up, wait a minute. No, we got to pause for just a second.
Okay.
I thought you were saying that she was trying to help the man who helped you. That's what I
No,
thought
she
you were
was trying to
saying.
help the man who ran me down.
Maybe was she confused? Was she
No,
confused?
she knew he hit me.
I think, I'm just saying in my brain, and I am not taking from this story, but in my brain, she had to think that was the man who helped get you out of the car of the abductor, right?
No, because they was standing, they were very Muslim looking men, and they were like letting them know, like, we stopped him from pulling off. And then my dad was like, "So you the one who hit her? Why'd you hit her? Why'd you?" Because he crossed the yellow lines to run me down. Like, he came across the street to hit me. So my dad's like, "Well, why would you do that to her?" So then my mom, she's like, "Well, maybe he couldn't see." Like, literally making excuses for this man. Like,
But is that who was about to abduct you?
yes, the kidnapper. Yes, him. She's making excuses for him. Yes, Crystal. That's not the end of the story. So anyway, that's just the first half. So then the ambulance does arrive. So, they give you a choice, because you can't ride with both your parents, because somebody has to drive the car to the hospital. My whole life, I was always closer to my dad. And this moment was like a very big moment just in general in our whole dynamic for my household. So they're like, "Which parent do you want to ride with you?" So me, automatically, I love my mom. I've always wanted my mom's love. Wouldn't this be a great time for her to come be my mama while I'm in the back of this ambulance with my leg broken? No, my mother refused to ride in the back of the ambulance with me. She rode in the front. She's like, "No, I'm just not comfortable being back there with her." So my dad had an attitude. He's like, "Why won't you ride in the back with her? Like, she's asking for her mother to be her mother." And she's like, "Oh, she'll be fine. I'm just gonna ride in the front." So she rode in the front. So like, my feelings was hurt the whole time. I was like, damn, like, my mom genuinely just do not care about me. Like, I'm sitting up here with a broken leg. She's sitting up here trying to help the man that damn broke the leg. Like, girl, I wouldn't even be over here with my leg broken if that man would have left me alone to begin with. Like,
Right.
so it's like, you only cared about him. You couldn't even care enough to hold my hand in the back of the ambulance. And then once we got to the hospital, baby girl complained the whole time. It's hot. Is this because the hospital wasn't normally running, because now the city was shut down. We had a citywide blackout. And that's because Jesus do not play about me. Okay. Like the world was about to rock if I got kidnapped.
Let me go.
No, that couldn't, it wasn't in order for that to happen to me. So something bad happened among the cities. So yeah, but my mom complained the whole time. She was just like, I could be doing this, I could be doing that. Like she made it seem as if me getting hit by a car was inconveniencing her life. So, that just made me like, I just started liking her less and less as I aged. So
yeah, man, that's pygmy.
Meek, that's a lot.
Girl, that's just my
ready.
story. That's since August 14th, 03.
My heart was racing like from the moment you started the story. Goodness gracious. Oh,
I'm still stuck. It was so many pieces to that. And it takes sometimes to hear a story for you to see. And we are not any medical professionals up here, so we're not saying that. But it's so much suffering that happens. And this is what I mean. It's not an excuse for the abusers, right? It's not an excuse for Pick Meek's mom, right? But it's just interesting to me how she was clear. They call it the dead mother in psychology, at least a piece of it, right? Which is the mother is present, but the mother isn't present. And I think that's just a small piece of it. If we got any doctors, psychologists, William, how you doing? I see you in the comments. How you doing? But anyway, it's such a detachment because it was too much of her looking at herself. And when like we all say, when we don't heal ourselves and when we don't work on ourselves, we will unconsciously project that onto our children in the harshest way possible. Now, do I think she actually wanted Meek to be deleted in that moment? No, but that's how she felt because of her lack of looking at herself. That's crazy. Meek, like, so that's just one story, right? Mm-hmm. But how do you move past that hold the fuck on, with the fact that we know genetics exist, we inherit things from our parents, just our own life things that we deal with. Like, how did you get to a maturity level of even saying, I don't know if anybody missed it or if I need to scream in this fucking mic, but she did say that she was depressed since 8. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. And I'm just curious.
That 10 years old thing is
like, it's crazy to me. Like, and people really don't understand. That's why I choose kindness. That's why I choose kindness and I choose love. Mm-hmm. Because I just think to myself, you never know what the next person going through. You know what I mean? And obviously that was a long time ago, but okay, let me get to the point. I'm sorry. I just had to bring that full circle because people really don't be getting it. Like, it'd be a lot going on at the same time. How did you get to a point, and when did you get to a point of like trying to actually heal through that? And has your mom changed? Is she different now?
No.
Let's just end it. Let's just call this a night. Like, stop playing with me. Like, don't keep answering questions the way that I don't think you're gonna answer them. No, you don't think she changed it all?
She's too old to change, and that's one thing. Like, that's one thing that I had to come to terms with, because a lot of why it was like I would be so close to being hopping over. I always say when I go to therapy, I'll be like, I'm stuck in between my old life and my new life. It's like, old life is like, no, stay, be in pain. And new life is like, no, let's see what's out there and let's be happy. So one of the things that would keep me in the behind would be my relationship with my parents, primarily my mother, because my mother is where I harbor most of my pain. Like, I had a good relationship with my father, and I understand why my father does what he does. My mama, not so much. Like, it's just, I feel like she just be choosing to be a butthole. And I'd be like, chill out, B-Dub. But what helped me move past it was, one, prior to therapy, my mom and I, we talk. Like, we have a decent relationship when we can get along. And a lot of the same stuff that happened to me happened to her. Girl, my mama got hit by a car when she was like 3 and nobody gave a damn about her. When she went to the hospital, her family didn't even come see her. So probably in that moment, she probably psychologically just was reacting how it happened for her. So a lot, because I have an understanding of who she is, why she acts the way she does, I give her grace for it. I forgive her. I understand that my mother did the absolute best that she could, because she did. She genuinely did. Like, she got up day in and day out. She couldn't be that emotional mama, but she knew how to work. She knew how to teach us certain things. Like, girl, the only reason why I can sit up here and do my hair every day is because of my mother. My mother said it ain't no way you're gonna have a head full of hair and you don't know what to do with it. So I can't fault her. I got something from her. So I take the good and I accept that she did the best that she could. And then I try my best to build a relationship based on that. So, I'm trying to get her to come over on the Jesus side. She believes in Jesus, but she's like most Black people where Jesus know her heart and she don't really follow the actual guidance and laws.
You wrong for that. You try to slip that in, you won't do it today. I heard it. She hit you with that good old Jesus know my heart.
She one of them people. Jesus know her heart, but she don't really be practicing his word. So it's just like I be learning.
And he know that too.
That part.
So it's just, I give her grace. I give her time. I love my mom. When I miss her, I go see her. Like, I usually go see her on Sundays after church, after I done had a little bit of Jesus and my spirit is down. I give her a little bit of my time. And then I'll leave when she's starting to act like herself, like when she's about to pull one of her little episodes. So I just be like, all right, Mom, I see you not in a good mood, so I'll come back next Sunday. I love you.
Man, you so strong. And this is why